Hello everyone, Ollie here from Leeds Talk Cinema, and I'm here with NerdTube.
Hello people of the internet.
And today we are here to watch...
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Or as Jack Black would put it...
Five Nights at Freddy's.
So yeah, that's Jack Black's interpretation of how he says Five Nights at Freddy's. That's a clip from him playing Five Nights at Freddy's 4 with Markiplier. So, there you go. So yeah, if you didn't check out my review for the first film, well, I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to check that out and hear my thoughts on the first one full in depth. But I'll obviously talk about my thoughts on the first film briefly when it's my before thoughts. But yeah, NerdTube's going to go first on his before thoughts, and I'm interested to see what his thoughts are on the film, the first film, and also the actual game franchise. So yeah, and there's nothing else for me to say right now, so I'm going to pass on to NerdTube.
I didn't like the first film, I will say that much. I know it sounds a bit blunt, but I'm sorry, it's true. Didn't really like it that much, for quite a few reasons. I think the film was mostly made for fans and not for people outside of that, which is kind of a shame, really, because like Sonic the Hedgehog kind of did something like that, but for people outside of the Sonic franchise. Now, like, it's hard to make a video game film based on, like, a video game. I can understand why, because it's hard to interpret, like, a game into a film. Because a game has a lot more world building than most movies does, because world building is such a pain in the ass to do. Because you have to explore rather than just expand. The last film did kind of disappoint me. Because I expected it to be, like, a horror film, not like multiple genres at once, which made it kind of hard to follow at the same time. Though I semi liked William Afton, I guess, although he was kind of a bitch at the end, because like he just instead of just like actually being intimidating, he was just bullying like the other animatronics. It's just funny to think about.
Look at you. Look at the nasty things that you have become. Look how small you are, how worthless you are. You are wretched, rotten little beast. I made you.
Though the best part of the film is definitely his death. Wish it was a bit more gory though. Come on, you disappointed me with that part, you motherfuckers. Although I am quite interested to see how this film is going to turn out. I'm just hoping it's just going to be like at least more decent than this one. So like, I don't know, about 7 or 6 out of 10 for this, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Excuse me. Oh no. Okay, so before getting into this, like I did do some watch some videos based on like the FNAF lore. Mostly like William Afton history video, which I just thought was a lot more fun than like the first FNAF movie. I heard Megan Fox was going to be playing as Toy Chica in this film.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm not joking.
Toy Chica?
What? No way. The Megan Fox.
The Gooners are going to be in heaven when they go to this. Jesus Christ. Mike Schmidt and Vanessa is going to be returning in this movie. Characters I don't really give a shit about. I have just mixed feelings in general. Like, the reason for that was because of how the first film turned out for me. And I'm worried that they might not get this one done as well. Because, like, the history of the FNAF games, like, I didn't really get the praise for it at the first, but then after, like, witnessing a lot of people playing it, I suppose I could get it. I'm worried that the saturation for these films are going to turn out just like how the games did. So, like, it'll turn out, like, a lot of popularity, I suppose, but then it'll suddenly, like, slowly degrade down. I'm just hoping, like, they get number 4 out so that we can actually get to an actual horror film.
What are your thoughts on the games themselves?
I don't get the games. I mean, all you do is just act like a security guard and just check through cameras, but it does look fun and decent enough.
Have you not played any of the games?
No.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I know. I've never played them. I'm just hoping I can one day. and just at least know what the experience is like. I might turn out really shit at it.
Why haven't you played them?
I don't know. I just could not find them, like, online at all, like, for free. And I just didn't have the money to, like, buy them at all.
Anything else to add on?
Not really, man.
Okay.
I'm just hoping this one turns out well. But at the same time, I'm just trying to see about keeping my expectations low, like I did for Predator, Badlands.
Right.
Because, like, who knows? This film might be at least a bit decent. Or it just might go against the lore again. Who knows? Anyway, that's all from me. I'm going to pass it on to you, Ollie.
Okay, I'd say, yeah, I'll talk about my thoughts. Quick, brief history on the FNAF game series. I have played Five Nights at Freddy's 1 to 4 and Sister Location on my phone. I actually have video evidence. If you haven't checked out my review on the first film, I did say I've linked a playlist in the description of that video, but I'll also leave a link in the description of this video of the playlist that I did on my previous channel, 𝔽𝕚𝕝𝕞 ℙ𝕣𝕖𝕧𝕚, where I play all those games and complete them, by the way. I did play the Pizzeria Simulator, which I only played a couple of videos on because I got a bit bored afterwards and it got a bit annoying. And then I played one video playthrough of Ultimate Custom Night, where you can obviously customize what you want for, you know, the night you want to play. So I first heard about Five Nights at Freddy's like probably year 6 or year 7, so last year primary, first year of secondary school, and you know, I didn't hear much of a description on it. I just heard, oh yeah, some Five Nights at Freddy's bullshit. Didn't know anything about the film itself, the games themselves, so I didn't know it had anything to do with animatronics or anything, or security guarding the place or anything. I just heard Five Nights at Freddy's. I was like, oh, okay, didn't really take note of it. So, but then fast forwarding years later, I played the games and I've completed 5 of the games. I don't know how many games there are, probably like 20 now. but yeah, out of those 5, I like the games. Obviously they get harder per night as it goes on and more intense. Yeah, they're kind of fun, really. I do recommend NerdTube to actually play them because they are fun. I mean, sure, not much story involved, but you know, it's kind of fun and it's quite challenging, which is good for that kind of game. But yeah, that's my history on the games. The film, obviously, the film had been in development for years, like basically since the first game had come out, and like, oh, this would be a great idea for a film, like it'd be a good adaptation. But it just depends on the game themselves, because there's some games that don't have a proper narrative, and while Five Nights at Freddy's has lore, you know, I mean, sure, you could make a film out of it, and obviously they did, and I thought it was okay. I rewatched it the other day in preparation for this, because I hadn't seen it since it was actually between when it had released in the cinema and also when it was just going to come out on digital and Blu-ray, so I wasn't able to get it, so I just pirated it. So yeah, I thought I preferred it a little bit more than I did this time round, but yeah, what I did like about the first film was you know, I really applauded Blumhouse. You know, I said in the first film's review, I said that I applaud that Blumhouse used practical effects on like the animatronics, so they looked really damn near the same as in the first game, because obviously it's based on the first game. So the animatronics were very good. The pizzeria looked great as well. A lot of great aesthetics on the film, but the whole like story and everything was, you know, it's a bit, you know, generic for me. I mean, they pulled some bits from the lore from the games to this film, to the first film, but I'm hoping they'll add more to this second film in terms of the lore. Yeah, so I kind of like the first film. It's okay. I gave it like a 6 out of 10, I think. 3-star, you know, it was alright. But I'm hoping this is better. Critics are panning this, which they did with the first film, but it's no surprise there. But the fans are giving it like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm hoping I'm going to be one of those fans that does like it. Also, I'm going to guess with Nerd 2 as well. I'm hoping you'll be surprised as well, but, you know, we can only say when we come out, so yeah, I'm just hoping for the best. The cast, obviously most of the cast from the first film are back. Obviously Josh Hutcherson, yeah, so Josh Hutcherson's back, and then the lady who played Vanessa, the security guard, he was in actually Security Breach, I think, which I'd forgotten when I'd rewatched the first film. I was like, oh yeah, of course, because I haven't played Security Breach. I know about it, but it's one of the only games that's not been created by Scott Cawthon, the creator of FNAF, so I haven't played that yet. All I know about Security Breach is Gregory.
Gregory! What the are you doing? How did you get up there?
I think it's Funtime Freddy or something.
Yeah, what's it?
Funtime Freddy, there we go, I got it right. I thought it was going to be like Rockstar Freddy or something, I don't know. But I got it right on the first time. One of my old friends, he used to say Gregory a lot in like a meme situation. So shout out to Jamie. So yeah, I'm hoping for the best for this. Yeah, there's not really much else to say really. How long have I been recording for?
Nearly 5. It's literally about to reach 5 minutes.
Wow, so we're on time together, so we got around the same time, so that's great. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is, depending on what time it is, 22 minutes past, we'll see. We thought about getting a pizza at Domino's, share a pizza, because, you know, it's tradition, you know, not only for meeting up, but also for Five Nights at Freddy's. If only if there was a pizzeria called Freddy Fazbear's.
Oh, that would be epic. I would love if there was actually like a real one where you could actually go in there and have a pizza. That'd be so sick.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we're gonna head down now and hopefully we'll be on time for the film. I mean, the film opens at 10 to 3, but that's when the ads kind of turn on, so we might be alright. I think it takes about 15-20 minutes for them to prepare and cook the pizza, so we might be alright. So we'll head down there now and we'll go watch the film and of course share our thoughts. So yeah, we'll see you on the other side. So roll the preview.
This December, get ready for the movie everyone's been screaming for. Oh no. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 in cinemas now.
That was quite intense. Right. This film did kind of surprise me, to be honest. Now, on to the positives. I really loved how they brought more horror aspects into this instead of just trying to integrate more fan services stuff. I feel like that really helps with the film, especially with audiences who are not familiar with the franchise. Like, I really love how they really escalated everything that's, well, maybe not everything, but like stuff that has gone from the previous film. I really love how they still stuck to like how the designs were originally, like in the game. Like, I enjoyed the small references. It wasn't like on the nose as much as it was in the previous film. The cinematography was great. Sound design is just fantastic. Wayne Knight was just awesome. I got to see him in a movie again.
Dodgson! Dodgson! We've got Dodgson here! See, nobody cares. Nice hat. You're trying to look like a secret agent?
Spoilers ahead of what I'm saying. I really liked how they brought Michael Afton into this. So it just at least stuck to something there. Because, like, although part of me wishes that he could have done a bit more, really. I really loved the end credits scene where they did a little reveal of Springtrap, also though the return of William Afton. I'm gonna be excited for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I really liked how they used the marionette in this film. I thought it was just really well done, but at the same time though, there is one flaw I will say about her. Like, she's just really, really petty. Although, to be fair, that gives me a lot of Syndrome vibes. He was petty as well. I love villains who are just, like, petty for well, understandable reasons, but that doesn't stop them from, like, doing bad actions. On to the mixed. Now, the voices for the toy versions of the original FNAF cast, I mean, like Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. I wish that we got to like hear more of them a bit more, because I feel like they were focusing a bit too much on Chica. it felt like they were trying to like make her more of a lead instead of like usually Freddy. I feel like Freddy would have been like more of a lead, personally. That's just me, anyway. I'm a bit disappointed we didn't get to see Megan Fox in Toy Chica. That part's disappointing. Although I feel like that would be a much bigger problem at the same time for people who go into the theater. I liked the gore, though sometimes I felt like it was a bit mixed, sometimes with a bit of missed opportunities. Like, they're just obviously trying to hide the violence and create a lot of implication. I wanted to see more of the violence on screen rather than just more implied. And now on to the negatives. How do I say this? The adults were assholes. So, like, they were either just really stupid or they're just really obnoxious. Like, at the very beginning of the film, they're just like, yeah, go fuck yourself, kid. We don't give a shit about you or your opinions. We want to talk around and fucking talk to other people. And it's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be adults. Act mature for once, you silly bastards. Also, I feel like people are gonna start simping for the marionette now. God help us all. I know you. You're not a simp. This man is not a simp. He is no gooner or no edger. Well, now as for rating this film, I think I'll rate this 6 out of 10. It's not a bad film, but it could have been much better.
What did you give the first one?
5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
So,
slightly better.
Yeah, I slightly enjoyed this one better. Yeah. That's all for me. I have to go and catch my bus now. Thank you all for having me. I'll see you all in the next video. Sayonara.
Alright guys, I know you can't see me very well, but I'm going to be heading home. I'm going to do my thoughts then, because 1, it's cold, 2, I need a piss, and 3, I don't want to be out here on my own too long, so I'll see you guys when I get home. Right, home sweet home. Took a piss. I know you didn't need to know that, but I was struggling earlier because the toilet in our cinema, the male toilets, is there was a flood in the toilet. So no one was allowed in there, and there was only one toilet near the front of the cinema, but obviously it's only one toilet and there are a lot of people using it, so I couldn't even use it before going into the film because I needed the toilet then, and coming out there was another person in there and I'm like fuck, so had to run out, record NerdTube's afterthoughts because again he had to run off, but I thought, well, I say worst comes to worst, I can record here at home, which that's what I do now, because I don't like doing my afterthoughts alone outside in the dark when it's cold in the winter, so, and there's not very much light, and there's perfect amount of light here, so I thought this would be the best time to do it. So, I know it feels like a home review now, like a regular review that I do here, but I just wanted to feel comfortable and not vulnerable outside, cold, and, you know, just worried what's going to happen, you know, that's just me. Anyway, so, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, my afterthoughts. I gotta say up front, it was better than the first one, which I was hoping so coming in, but then after hearing some of the negative reviews, but again they are critics, so you know they're very much nitpicky with especially video game adaptations. Oh, this doesn't make sense. This is a bit shit. But you've never played the games, guys, have you? You're too bothered shoving films up your arse. Anyway, but yeah, I will say this before I forget, because I'm worried I might forget to say this, but if you know the lore and you've played the games, the experience is that much better, because you're like, oh, look at that, this is great. It's like the first one, but on steroids, in this one, at least in my opinion. There's a lot more references, in my opinion, way more faithful to the games, particularly the second game, of course. But yeah, all the nods, all the references and all the stuff to do with the lore a lot of it is in there, which I really commend to Emma Tammy, who's the director, and then obviously Scott Cawthon, who I only recently found out actually wrote it, who's obviously the creator of FNAF, and I was like, wow, like, damn, but it's cool that he's actually writing it by himself. I think he was the only one that wrote it. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was the only one that wrote it. Unlike, there's a few writers in the first one, but this one I think it's just solely Scott who wrote it. But anyway, which is good, because, you know, he's the father of this, franchise, so it kind of makes sense. Although the writing wasn't all good, I don't know whether or not to do positives mixed and negatives. Actually, I will, if I look at bucket. Positives, like with the first film, I think the aesthetics and the animatronics and everything is fucking phenomenal, I would have to say. The pizzerias they show, because there's two, right? Yeah, there's two in the film. There's the original, which is technically in the second film, which we're mostly in, and then there's also the one from the first film, which is, you know, the first location. Well, second, you know what I mean. So they're both great aesthetically. In that case, especially love the intro as well, the opening scene, and I'm like, where's the Universal logo? You know, the Universal logo. If you don't know, then you're not a film fan. But it's immediately a scene. I was like, hold on, and then it's like, welcome back, and I'm like, oh shit, all right. And then the opening 1983 was 82, 1982, I think, 3. But flashback, yeah, it was really cool. You know, the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Like, I was like, oh, it's so cool. Like, oh, it's great. So yeah, I think the opening scene might be my favourite part of the film. Yeah, I was just so like shocked. I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. What are the positives? So the animatronics are great. The locations are great. Well, the ones that are in the games, obviously the pizzerias mainly. I liked, like I said in the first review, if you haven't seen it, the first film review, I like Mike and Abby, their relationship. But I have a few things I want to touch on in later on with my other aspects. But I do like them. I wouldn't say they have as much screen time. I mean, they have a bit of screen time at the beginning, but throughout the film they have less together, which, you know, for the story's purpose, I guess it's okay. But, you know, that's one of the only things that I liked in the first film that I liked, alongside obviously the aesthetics and everything, and the nods and everything. So, you know, if I could have more of them together, then I would. But, you know, yeah, I like them two together mostly, but again, I'll get to more of it later. Vanessa, who's the cop, by the way, I forgot the name of in the review for the first film. She was okay. I don't know, I don't really rate her as a character, really. Like, she's white, really. Like, yeah, I'm not really attached to her very much, unlike Mike and Abby, but yeah, I don't know if she's a positive, really. She's more of a mixed, maybe, or negative, but yeah. What else? I might have to come back to the positives if there's one I've forgotten, so we'll move on to the mixed. Okay, so this might be my only mixed positive kind of thing. Like, some of them were good, some of them were a bit mixy, like, were the jump scares. Like, there were a couple of good ones. I won't say what exactly, just because, you know, I mean, obviously Nerd2 got into a bit of a spoilery bit earlier, but I won't go too much into it. But the scares themselves, some got me, some are a bit like, come on, a bit predictable, and, you know, but it's a PG-13 film, mainly aimed for kids, so I'm not going to knock it for that, really, because it is aimed for kids, and, you know, it is Five Nights at Freddy's, so I can't really knock it too much, because that's one of the main things of Five Nights at Freddy's, is the jump scares. But I would have liked a bit more effective jump scares, if that makes sense. I don't know what everybody else thinks about them, but some might be liking them, some might not like them, but a couple of them I liked, some of them are a bit too cliche and predictable to me. But moving on to the negatives, I can't think of any other mixed aspects right now, at least, so moving on to the negatives. I didn't like how the film ended. Like, it was very abrupt. I was hoping there was going to be more to it, if that makes sense. Just felt like poof, it didn't. There was no like smooth finish. Like, okay, I mean, post-credit scene. There can be a post-credit scene to set up another sequel, which there was, which I'll get onto in a little bit. I'll warn you. But yeah, I just didn't like the way it finished. I'm not going to spoil it, at least on my end. But I don't know. I just found it was just abruptly ended, and some people won't mind it. I personally, maybe would, along with other people, just didn't like the abrupt. I can't really say much more without spoiling it, but it's just, I don't know, I just felt like there should have been more to it, you know? I don't know, I can't quite describe it. It just felt like, oh, this happened, and then, ooh, and then just ends. I'm like, Dusty, if you're watching this, which I'm hoping you are, I'm very curious to see your thoughts, because we haven't had a discussion yet on it, because obviously I wanted to finish the film, and then we'll have a discussion together, so gotta message each other and talk about it. So yeah, I just personally didn't like the way it ended, personally. I can't really say much more than that without spoiling it. Okay, my next negative, I don't know how I felt about how the story went on. Like, again, I loved the intro, how it went back in time, like decades earlier, like showing, you know, the opening of William Afton's first pizzeria, and then seeing him, and I was like, oh my god, rewatching like and seeing the lore video and seeing what actually happens, and then seeing this, I was like, oh my god, yeah, shit. So that was great, but the way it carried on, like, it got to maybe roughly the halfway point, and I was a bit like, from then until the end, I was a bit like, I don't know. And then there was like a villain reveal, which was very predictable, like the first film. I'm like, come on. I had suspicions or knew who it was, the person early on in the film. If you know, you know. I'm just like, okay, like, come on. I was like, when the veil was lifted, and, you know, it was just, I don't know, I just felt nothing really with that. I don't know, it's just a shame, because that opening was great for the most part. Like, I really liked the way it opened. I loved, most of the scene. I mean, a couple of bits which I didn't like the fucking parent characters, like, so oblivious and just like, oh no, parents talking here, fuck off, you know, like what Nerdtube said earlier. I'm just like, for God's sake, and it's cliched, and it's like, it's for the story, but it's just like, not every single parent is like that. There are some that are actually somewhat caring, like, oh, well, what's wrong, like, what's wrong, and none of them were like that. It's just like, come on, I know for the story purposes, like, oh, someone needs help. The little girl, like, oh, I need help. I won't go into more detail than that, but there was the girl that went, oh, and the parents just didn't give a shit. I'm just like, for God's sake, it has to be one civil parent in that fucking pizzeria that can help that girl. Nope. But anyway, yeah, I just, some of the characters are just, you know, annoying, and just like really, I just didn't like them. Some of the characters, like mainly the parents. Yeah, okay, now, the acting was kind of poor most times. Like, one thing I said in my positives about Mike and Abby, Josh Hutcherson, and I keep forgetting the little girl actor's name, but I know obviously she's a child and everything, and, you know, got Josh, but some of the deliveries was a bit weak. And then also Vanessa as well was a bit weak at times, a lot of times actually, to be fair. Just, I don't know, I just didn't, but then again, I'm not really into Vanessa that much, as in, like, interested in their character that much, really. And, yeah, it's a bit weird, because Vanessa isn't actually William Afton's daughter. I've forgotten the name of the daughter, though, because obviously William Afton, for people that don't know, has 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter. And the daughter isn't called Vanessa. I've forgotten what the girl's name is. I'll put it in the edit. But, yeah. But one of the kids, one of the boys, is in it. And it's one that I mentioned earlier, which I was just like, ugh. But, yeah. I don't know. I just started off great. And then, I don't know, the ending was a bit just forced and abrupt. I don't know. I don't know if it was just me, I don't know if I'm alone on that, but that's just how I felt. Yeah, I just wasn't really a fan of, like, again, without spoiling it, because I don't really want to spoil it if I didn't have to, and it's just like the way the story where it went on, just like Vanessa's character, she's having like dreams, visions of William, her dad, and you know, those are alright, but and then they find out, you know, about the old pizza place, and you know, the animatronics that were there before, and you know, there's some great references like to the old animatronics that were worn, you know, in the parts and service bit, and then obviously the toy animatronics, which is cool. Again, they look great. I don't know, I don't know, I need to sit on this, I think, which is why when I come to my rating, I'm torn between two. I don't know. Part of me wants to give it a 6, like I did with the first, but I did prefer this more to the second one. And it doesn't sound like I do, because I don't know what I've said, but I would come to rewatch this one more than the first one, but not anytime soon, just because rewatchability, like the way it's paced, was just a bit, I don't know, sluggish in my opinion. Like, some parts are great, some parts not so much. I don't know. Yeah, me and Dusty need to have a discussion. Yeah, we need to have a discussion ASAP, because I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. God, I don't know what else to say. I know it's probably sluggishly reviewed, but that's just me. You know, after coming out of the cinema, there's a lot in my head that I want to talk about, that I want to try and say, but I can't quite comprehend. So I'm going to leave here, guys. My rating, I'll probably give it I might give it a 6, but it's better than the first one, because I gave the first one a 6 as well. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10, 3 star as well, but it is slightly better than the first one, more rewatchable, in my opinion, a bit more faithful to the source material than the first one, in my opinion, and slightly more rewatchable. But again, I won't rewatch anytime soon. I might get it on Blu-ray, or when it's, you know, on like Netflix or something, I might watch it. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, do I recommend this film? I would say yes, especially to fans. I'd say definitely for fans, go watch it. But general audiences, if you want to go, you can go, but I don't know how much you'll get out of it, because again, I'm one who has sort of grown up and knows about the lore and the games. So that again, if you, alright, general audiences that don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, the games, the lore, etc., please try and at least play one of the games. You know, maybe at least 1 and 2 would be great, and then go in to watch the first and second film. And then if you want to know more about the lore, which is an extra thing, go do that, because you'll just have a better experience, like me. Because I feel like you'll get less out of this than me and ℕ𝕚𝕚 do, because I mean, ℕ𝕚𝕚 hasn't played the games, of course, but he knows most of the lore. So but yeah, it's definitely better for fans than general people, at least from my experience and what I have heard from people that haven't played the games or know the lore. It's like very generic, so I understand totally for those people that don't like it, because it is a bit, you know, if minus all the stuff in there that you won't notice, it's a bit like, yeah. So that's it, guys. Yeah, sorry if this is a bit cut and dry for this review from my end, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, if you liked this review for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you yourself have watched Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and obviously the first film. Let me know your thoughts on those. Are you a fan of the games? Do you know anything about the games or the lore? Let me know. Give me a rating, or give us your rating. And yeah, don't know what the next video will be, but whatever the case is, we'll see you then. Bye.